Jim says he hears me, but sometimes I think I do most of the listening. There we go. Jim's into tongues as well, and that was, or at least some form of glossolalia.
Slow to speak.
You're
Slow to speak.
trilling your tongue. There you go. This is we'll start off with the space wrap up because it was so exciting for us. This is the IFT what is IFT?
It's a rocket going into space.
Integrated, which means two pieces, the top and the bottom, the booster and the Starship. Flight test, so we're testing its orbital or its interaction with the atmosphere, and then re-entry, as well as max Q, which is maximum stress on the ship going up. So all of that was being tested. Any surprises? Just a quick comment before we move on to a Canadian connection.
No surprises. Absolutely blown away at how easily it looked like it did that. This is 400 feet of rocket going up into space, beautifully smooth. The vibration is incredible, even all the way here in Bob Cage.
Listening to the sound of the engines.
Did you see it? It was like 15 seconds before the sound even hits where the nearest camera is.
You could see it already up out of the clouds, and then all of a sudden
you hear
that crackling sound of a raptor.
It's incredible. And so it did all that just beautiful. Don't forget, all of this is done like within 6 or 7 minutes. It's up there. The boosters, the ship separates. The booster turns around, fires its engines, and starts heading home. And the Starship fires its engines off into space, and off they go. And we did see the Starship being flung off into the distance. It was just like blink your eyes and it was gone. And that's how fast this thing's moving. And someday, folks, it's going to have people on it, and they're going to go to the moon, and they're going to go to Mars.
And you won't buy one of those tickets, but I would be interested if they were giving them away.
Okay, you can go and phone me.
Well, if they're giving away free tickets and all you had to do was say, are you prepared to die in space or crash land on the moon or Mars? If you sign away all of that responsibility, would you go at our agent stage?
I'd watch the movie.
You'd watch the movie.
Yeah, I this is what I'm loving about SpaceX, Terry, to tell you the truth. No, a lot of the cameras fail. They come back. Fail. They come back. That's because it's just incredibly hard to do. And that's why we haven't seen it before on anything. But they're trying, and they keep trying. They're even putting cameras on the flaps. They put a camera inside. Remember I said to you before they did that, I said, why wouldn't they put a camera on the inside? Bang! Oh, well, geez, there's a camera on the inside.
To show the Pez door opening.
Show the Pez door opening. And what I like, whether it works or not, they let us see it.
Yes. Public accessibility has been the mark of this program.
Yeah,
Not like NASA, you never sign anything until it's on the launch pad. I sure hope everything works.
Yeah, and it's like 10 years in.
Yes.
Where SpaceX builds it, lets it blow up. What is it, test to fail?
Yeah.
They test to fail, and then one of these days, and I'm predicting within the next 3 launches, it's going to be super successful. And then they'll probably start thinking, maybe we should try to bring it back.
So the next one, which would be integrated flight test number 4, within 4 to 6 weeks, they say.
Yeah.
That's Felix's prediction from What About It. And I'm thinking, if that's true, will that one be the first one to do the soft drop into the ocean?
Yeah, I think they're going to try that. There was a couple of things they didn't do. They didn't explain why, but they made it clear that they weren't doing it. They told us.
Yep.
Because they were going to exchange the liquid.
Yep.
And they didn't do that.
That's a propellant.
Yeah, the propellant. And they didn't relight the engines. They did once, though, didn't they? I thought they did.
They did.
But they were going to relight the engines again and decided not to. I got a feeling it might not have been something failing too much, as it might have been a concern of putting it too much into space again. Because they didn't want to overshoot the Indian Ocean. And it's pretty easy to do at 27,000 kilometers an hour.
I can imagine.
So that might have been part of it, because the engines were lighting and everything was going good. But those are powerful engines, man.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, bang, you're 300 kilometers and you go, crap, we're not going to hit the Indian Ocean.
Nope. What's the next stop?
Next stop's what, you know? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So a lot of markers
Newfoundland.
to check off and a lot still to go. And you're thinking they might deploy all of the next first generation Starship boosters and Starships 29, 30, 31, 32 in this launch campaign before version 2.0 is unveiled.
I'm guessing that,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't even seen a 2.0 yet.
Nope, I haven't. I've seen some mock-ups of it,
But I'll tell you right now, they could build it in 2 weeks. This is the beauty of it. This is amazing of the pace in which Star Wars,
It could be.
SpaceX
Could
can
be.
build their stuff. It's amazing. They put whole buildings up there. You've seen it.
Yep.
Whole gigantic buildings in like a month and a half.
It's stunning to me. And as we're talking, we're watching some of the post-game analysis.
Is that a human hanging off the edge there? Seriously,
Look at the
is
size
it?
of him.
Yeah, is that a human?
I don't know what you're
Or
pointing
is that
to.
just something? What do
I
you
see
mean?
the. Oh, right
Yeah,
there.
is that
no,
just
I think it's
cloth or
it's
something?
debris.
All right,
flapping
debris.
in the wind. Yeah. So I'm interested in. You inadvertently mentioned a Freudian slip here, Star Wars. So I'm going to pick up that and say, the last Crew Dragon mission included a Russian
Yes, it did.
cosmonaut.
Yes.
And I'm thinking there was a movie coming. You don't want to see it. I'm curious.
Oh,
Morbidly.
I'll watch it if it's on Space on
free-
Netflix.
on a freebie
Yeah,
Oh,
service.
yeah.
Not
I'm
on
not going to
something.
the movies to see it.
No,
I think it'll be crummy.
Yeah, but it's the old tension because there's tension on the floor, on the ground, on the earth.
Yeah.
Tension between nations, and yet space. Do they keep it together, or does you think the Russian has a knife in his pants somewhere, or do you think he's slitting the oxygen on the mask of a American? Like,
Or did we? Their last two ships had a leak.
the last two. Oh yes,
How do you know we didn't
Now
do it?
it's not their ships; it's their actual part of it, isn't it? The one that's attached to the rest of the space station.
yeah.
Their little.
Oh, yeah, it arrives and then it's got a leak. They thought it was meteorite
Yeah.
or a pen.
Well, the old image of I forget the name of the Russian space station before International
I
Space
can't
Station.
remember the name of the
But
space.
the rumor was that
Silos, or
I'm not sure it was held together with duct tape. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the old scuttlebutt. That's the Russian solution to fix it. Get out the old. Okay,
well,
Canadian.
once you're in space, you might be blown away at just how
Figuratively speaking,
just how thin some of that aluminum is.
it's aluminum. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
and some of it's
now,
thick, not thick. It's strong, but very thin.
So that goes
Some of
back-
that gold aluminum. You see, if you go down to the Space Center in the United States and look at it, you go, crap. And they were in this thing. You know. Anyways.
well, I was
continue
just
on.
going to say about aluminum versus steel. Musk has gone with steel for a reason.
Uh-huh.
The destruction of and I don't know which one, Columbia was it that burned up?
Mm-hmm.
They said it wouldn't take much part of that reentry if it got the heat tiles were missing, to ignite aluminum. It has a much lower temperature than steel. So that's one of the reasons why they went with steel.
Yeah, and that's actually stainless steel strengthens under certain stresses.
yeah.
And that's what he said. If you lose a tile or two, there's a chance the
They
ship's
said
going to
if you
make
lose
it.
40 or 50, you'll still be
get
able
back.
to do it.
Yeah, where the shuttle was one,
One.
and the heat gets in there and just burns it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to mention a Canadian connection on the last podcast, and I was going to start with this. On Twitter, Commander Chris Hadfield sent his best wishes to the
for
SpaceX
him.
team for launching the integrated flight test number 3, hoping for the best success and best outcomes possible. And I thought, Chris Hadfield, isn't that?
Well,
That's great.
you know, if anybody, he can imagine
Yes.
that there's probably more room on one Starship than there is in the ISS.
Well, he had the space shuttle that he commanded
Yeah.
too, so he was a pilot as well.
uh-huh.
So
And that's small in comparison.
Yep.
You know, it's for living room
Yes.
area. What I'm saying that when Starship has its moonlander or has its human lift system put together, I mean they got bedrooms and everything. You got privacy. You got a ballroom type area, small, but you got a place to float around together and work out, a workout room and everything else. That's just in the rocket. That's not a space station. That's just the rocket, which you'll be living in when you're on your way to the moon or on your way to Mars.
It's amazing. And when we talk about living capacity, a space station built of starships would be huge.
Yeah, and well, can't you see it happening?
Yeah.
I mean, we marveled the other day at its a connection system that they had developed. We went, crap, look at that thing. So that anything can dock.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So already they're thinking. So all you got to do is in one loading bay, deploy a hub where they could all link into.
Yep.
And you've got more room than you have on the ISS. And if one part of it is, if you designed it properly, I guess you could design it so it could re-enter, send another one up to take its place. So there's the imagination is incredible.
It's
what these
sort of
things
like
can do.
Lego. You can just build whatever your imagination, once you get the bricks, the blocks.
Yeah.
So they're interchangeable pieces.
Yeah.
That's the joy of Lego, and that's the joy of Starship.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Building the point 2 is another 30 meters longer. They're just going to put 30 meters in between.
I'm old enough to remember an ad for a cigarette brand that went a silly millimeter longer, 101.
Yeah.
It was 1 millimeter longer, and that was a selling point. So this is meters longer.
But you see, that's how powerful the rocket is, the heavy lift. It's so powerful, they're already designing the bigger ship to go on top.
And Raptor 3.0 is coming as well.
Well, that one's going to have a new booster and everything, I think. And that's going to be, I don't even know if it's possible, Terry. That's going to be so huge and powerful.
That takes us to a whole bunch of speculation about what version of this stuff is actually going on to the moon, because the human landing system that NASA was going with, I think it's all to the wayside, and it's up to Musk now to be the sole designer.
Smart bet.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else has cost 2 times more.
And took 10 years to develop, and Musk has
never
already
tested.
Yeah.
Musk's agreed to land one on the moon with no humans to prove that can be done. And he might even have to do that a couple of times, but that's how this company operates.
Yes.
But you can almost bank on it. It's going to be rare that there's going to be an accident, because he does value the human
Yeah, so he's
aspect.
going to test it to destruction before a human life is put in the capsule at all. Which takes us to another one of their plans. They're planning to have, well, they did have the first civilian Crew Dragon. They're hoping to get a first civilian crew to the moon, to circle the moon and come back.
Hello
Japanese
Moon.
artist, do you remember
Hello
that?
Moon, yeah.
Yes, Hello Moon. So, yeah, a lot to look forward to in space. That's the Jim and Terry Show, wrapping it up for today. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.